What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So today I want to go over the calendar. We have to face the reality here that Congress will be going on recess at the end of this week. And so I want to look at the different things that they have on the table right now and kind of work through this to see where they're going to vote on these bills, approve these bills. We have some major bills that they've been talking about in the last couple of days, and mainly the boost to Social Security, this $2,400 that they've been talking about. So you have some support in the Senate. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some of the other bills that are out there right now. But first off, on this channel, we talk about money and the financial struggles that Americans are facing today. If that sounds like something interesting to you, please subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell notification. That way you get notified anytime we put out a video. And like always, if you see my name and a picture of me in the comment section, make sure you see a check mark next to my name. That check mark signifies that it's me. If you do not see that check mark, it's not me. It's someone trying to impersonate me. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the calendar, but before we do, I just want to say thank you. Thank you again for all the new subscribers. And now that I'm doing premieres, there's even more and more people coming in. So make sure if you're watching this channel, sometimes I'll do premieres, and usually I'm going to try to do at least 3, maybe 4 premieres a week. And so in order to get notified that I'm doing the premiere so you can catch it at the very beginning, you need to be subscribed and you need to hit that little bell notification, because when you hit the little bell notification, as soon as I put out that I'm going to be doing a premiere, and usually I do it a couple of hours before the premiere, then you'll get notified that I'll be doing a premiere, and you'll keep getting those notifications until the premiere actually starts. And when I say notifications, I just mean if you go on to YouTube, you're going to see that there's a premiere that's going to be starting, that I'm going to be starting a premiere. So you're not going to get bombarded with these different messages on your phone. You might get one message that lets you know that I will be doing a premiere, and then from that point you won't get messages anymore. But when you do go onto YouTube, you're going to see that a premiere will be starting in whatever time it will be starting, or if the premiere started, then you'll get a notification of that as well. Okay, so I want to take a look at this calendar, and let's go ahead. Yeah, let's go ahead and move over to that right now. And we're going to talk a little bit about this, because this is very important for us to focus on when Congress goes on recess, when they return, because this is a big factor when it comes to getting things done. Because obviously, if they are not in D.C., they can't vote on bills. If they can't vote on bills, then nothing will get done. So the first thing I want to look at, what is on the table. Okay. Now, I like to say what's on the table. We don't know what Congress is going to do, and I'm just giving you the information as it's given to us. Okay. So when we receive information, when I do my research, I'm reading news articles, I'm finding out what's going on, and then I'm relaying that message to you. I have no control over Congress. And so just because I'm saying, look, this is what's on the table, doesn't mean that this is what's going to pass. But I will make sure that I let you know every step of the process. Okay. So gun safety, we know we talked about this, and I just did a video about this, probably about 10 days ago. So we were looking at the calendar at that time. We knew that the 24th, which is Friday, that's when they needed to get this done by. Okay. Now we're getting there. We're getting to Friday, and we don't have any further information other than they've done a markup and they've reached a tentative agreement. Okay. And so they did the markup, and now it looks like they actually have the bill, and so they can move forward. So they have an agreement. Hopefully they can get the 60 votes that they need to move forward with the gun safety legislation. And like I said, I told you this needs to be done by the 24th. We'll see if they're able to make that happen. Maybe they will have to work into the weekend because they will be going on recess. Okay, inflation, this is always going to be an issue, so we're going to keep that in our little illustration. And this illustration is the same exact illustration that I used before. I just added to it just so you guys can see the different legislation that's on the table. Okay, so we know Build Back Better. It's a Build Back Better style bill that they're talking about. Now, we know a little bit more details. We just got some more details from Brian Deese, White House advisor, and this is the target now. They want to lower prescription medication, they want to raise taxes on the rich, and they want to lower energy costs. That is the focus, okay? It looks like my computer's a little delayed right now, so the highlights will be coming a little bit later than the way that I'm displaying it. sometimes my computer gets a little slow. I have some other things running in the background, so that's probably the issue right now. Child tax credit. Okay, so we know right now they've kind of gone away from the child tax credit. You don't hear much talk about that. Some states might be trying to implement their own child tax credit, but as of the federal government, we don't know what they're going to do when it comes to a child tax credit. They might try to push a larger bill together and add a child tax credit to that, but as of right now, we don't have any further information when it comes to child tax credit. Okay, gas rebates. I just did a video yesterday about that. I talked a little bit about, actually it wasn't yesterday, it was a couple of days ago, the gas rebate. That is something that we might see in the future. I think what they're going to do first, and the yellow here, this is the stuff that I've added. So the stuff that's in yellow. The gas tax holiday is something that they are strongly, the White House indicated actually today that they are going to talk to the leaders in Congress and try to get something done when it comes to a tax holiday, move that forward. Now, we know the Speaker Pelosi is against a tax holiday because basically what the oil industry was doing is they're paying this tax and then they're passing it on to the consumer. So if they don't have to pay the tax anymore, they still don't have to pass on that savings to the consumer. They can just keep the money. And so I think they're going to have some type of stipulation in this tax holiday bill where they have to pass on the costs, or not pass on the costs. They have to pass on the savings to the consumer, or at least a portion of it, maybe 80% or so. So we'll have to see what this bill looks like, but it looks like they will be moving forward with it. And they're talking about 3 months. Okay, so they're talking about this lasting for 3 months. So it will end in September if they can get it done in time. Now, you know how Congress is. They could kick the can down the road, and that 3 months might go into October or November. So we'll have to see where that goes. Student loan cancellation. This is something else that at the current time, we know President Biden wants to move forward with something, but they have not announced anything as of yet. Diesel fuel shortage. Okay, so we know that's still a problem. That's still an issue. And one more thing I didn't talk about when it comes to the tax holiday, that's about 18 cents. Okay, so that's what we would be looking at in savings if they were to move forward with a tax holiday, gas tax holiday. Now, when it comes to diesel fuel, if they do move forward with a gas tax holiday for diesel fuel as well, we're looking at about 24 cents. Okay, so that I just wanted to kind of show you what it looks like when it comes to the gas tax holiday. So it's not going to be a huge benefit to the American people, but it will cut costs down a little bit. But then you have to be prepared because in September, guess what? When they lift the gas tax holiday, the prices are going to go right back up. Okay, so that's something that we all have to be prepared for. I think the main goal here at this point is because of the summer's a lot of people are going on vacation. That's why they're trying to address this now, which I have an issue with because I think they should have been doing it. They should have done it in May, or they should have done it in April. They should have worked through this already. So because people are already going on vacation. I'm going on vacation in a couple of days. So you're waiting until the last minute to try to move forward with something when you could have done it. You could have done it a couple months ago. Okay, the budget. This is something that no one's talking about this right now, but they're going to need to have a budget set for 2023, and they're going to need to have that done by the end of September. And so this is something else that we're going to see Congress try to address, okay? And if they can't get anything done, then they're going to have to do a continued resolution, push it down the road a couple months, which is probably what they're going to do because they do this all the time. But that's something that we need to start focusing on because that's going to be part of the debate in Congress in the next couple of months. Okay. Now, here's the big one here, the $2,400 boost for Social Security. This is a bill that was created by Senator Bernie Sanders and Senator Elizabeth Warren, and they are gaining support. They are gaining support in the Senate for this bill. So we'll have to see if they can move forward with this. Obviously, there's opposition. You do have Mitt Romney who wants to put together this committee to work on a new type of legislation when it comes to reforming Social Security and keeping Social Security solvent for the foreseeable future. Because right now, the Social Security Trust Fund will run out of money in about 12 to 13 years, And so they need to do something, because if the trust fund runs out of money, then Social Security will see, people who receive Social Security will see about a 23% decrease in their benefits. Okay, so they're trying to avoid that by reforming Social Security now and not waiting. Okay, so let's look at the calendar. Just want to do this really quickly, just to show you what's going on and when they will be going on recess. Okay, so we talked about this, the 24th. So the 24th of June, they're going to be going on recess. And when it comes to the 24th, when we're looking at it like this, that's their last day working. But generally what will happen is they will leave early. They're not going to work that whole day because they want to get on a plane and get back to their home districts. So we'll see a break until the 11th. Okay, the 11th of July. So this is a long break. This is not. This is going to take. They're going to be out for a while. Okay, so this is the 4th of July holiday break that they will be taking, and the Senate will return on the 11th. Okay. Now, Congress is not going to return until both the House and the Senate will return on the 12th, but the Senate will return on the 11th. All right, so then they'll be here. They'll be here for this time period. So we have about 3 weeks of them hopefully getting things done, and they're going to have a lot to get done, because when we look at this and we talk about gun safety, okay, they have this bill. When are they going to vote on this bill? Are they going to vote on this bill before they go on recess? Or are they going to wait until they return? Most likely, if they can't get it done within the next couple of days, which, I mean, come on, it's Congress. I don't know. I don't know if they'll be able to get it done in the next couple of days. So most likely they're going to go ahead and go on recess with the bill already. They'll have the bill there so they can vote on it when they come back. It's unfortunate because now you're just letting a couple of weeks go by where you're not doing anything. Maybe, as I'm talking about this, maybe politicians will realize, hey, that's a bad look if we go on recess and don't vote on a bill that's already there. Like the language is there. All they need to do is vote yes or no. So maybe they will take this up, vote on this gun rights bill before they go on recess. And so they need to do what they need to do is vote on in the Senate. The Senate's this bipartisan group that got together. So vote on in the Senate and then send it over to the House, and then the House votes on it and then move forward. So they might even be working into the weekend on this, on that bill. Okay. So in July, just looking at the schedule for July, now we're looking at 3 weeks that they have in July to get things done. They have a lot of stuff to get done. We talked about this. So we talked about lowering prescription medication, having some type of a large bill that they'll put together for like a Build Back Better style bill. So they're going to have to address that. So they have about 3, if you really want to look at it, 4 weeks. If you just look at the Senate has about 4 weeks. The House has 3 weeks because the House will be off all of August. Okay. They're going to go back to their home districts. This is their big campaigning time. So they're going to be off for a period of time. The House will. Now the Senate will return, or the Senate will be there for a month. Okay. So hopefully the Senate is really what we need to watch, because that's where we always get the roadblock. The roadblocks come in the Senate. You have Senator Manchin, Senator Sinema, and they're kind of the deciding votes when it comes to a lot of these different bills. Because if they want to try to pass a Build Back Better style bill and they want to do it through reconciliation, they're going to need all 50 Democrats to support it. And so the Senate is what we're really watching. In the House, if you can get something passed through the Senate, usually the House will go ahead and go along with it. So we'll have to see what they do. But the Senate has a month, and that's it. And after that, then we're going to go into September. And when we go into September, you see they have this whole, it looks like 4 weeks pretty much. The Senate will be there for 4 weeks. The House will be there for 3 weeks. And the way I'm looking at this, just so you guys don't know, I guess I didn't explain this, but the purple, that is the Senate. And I'm sorry, not the purple, the reddish color here, that is the Senate. And the purple, that is both the House and the Senate. Okay, so if we look at we have a little legend, I think. Here it is. Okay, so green, this is federal holidays. Actually, you guys, can you see that? You can see that. Okay. Green's the federal holidays. Purple is both the House and the Senate. This a red color here, this is the Senate, and then blue is the House only. Okay. Just so you know that. And when you're looking at our calendar here, you don't see any House only. Not at this time period. Usually it's going to be the House and the Senate, or it will be just the Senate. Okay, so just moving back down to September. So in September, it looks like a pretty busy schedule for them, but understand they have to look at the budget. Okay, they're going to have to figure something out when it comes to the budget. And then also the $2,400 boost for Social Security. Are they going to address that? Will they address that before election time? Now, that is what our schedule looks like for the next few months. But what I would like to see, and I've talked about this before, and I'm going to continue talking about this, maybe, just maybe, a politician will see this and say, yes, that's a good idea. But what they need to do, and politicians have been talking about this. You have some senators talking about this. You have some Congress people in the House talking about this. They need to start calling these bills to the floor. Bottom line, if it's a standalone bill, it's a standalone bill. Call it to the floor. The Social Security, this $2,400 boost, they need to call that to the floor. Standalone bill. Do it before the election. Why? Because it will make politicians uncomfortable. It will make them uncomfortable to vote no on that. Because Social Security is when it comes down to it, I don't care if you're a Democrat or you're a Republican, everybody likes the program. And everybody understands that they should be getting something from that program when it comes time. Okay, we have people that are working right now paying in. They're paying this payroll tax, paying into Social Security, and they would expect to have something in the future, right? And you have people right now who are receiving Social Security benefits, and they want to continue to receive Social Security benefits, and it would be nice to have a $2,400 boost, and it would be nice to know that the trust fund will not run out of money in 12 years. So this is important. And so this is one of those bills that they should call it to the floor. You have the majority leader, Chuck Schumer. He has the ability in the Senate to call any bill that he wants to the floor. This is one bill they should call to the floor just to get an up or down vote and find out who is against it and who is for it and why they're against it. This is important. And so I'm hoping that they go ahead and move forward with something. I don't even know what a bipartisan bill would look like. Mitt Romney wants to have some type of a bipartisan bill, but I can tell you what, if they're talking about doing cuts, that should be off the table. If they're talking about raising the age of retirement, that should be off the table. We need to look at a situation where they start focusing on people who are making more money and have them pay into the payroll tax. Okay? That's what we need to be focused on. I mean, it's really a no-brainer. It's common sense when you look at how our tax system is. It's unfair. It's unfair if you're going to cut it off at $147,000. What about people who are making more? They don't have to pay any more into it. All they have to pay is up to that $147,000 level. And now one of the arguments against raising the threshold is if you're making $250,000 and now you're paying into that payroll tax, well, then you're going to receive more when you start collecting your Social Security benefits. Well, that could be true, but we see a lot of offsets. So if I'm receiving a pension and I'm receiving a certain amount, there are cutoffs. And so you could only receive a certain amount of Social Security if you're receiving a pension, or if you're receiving other income, or if you're working, you can only receive a certain amount. So when it comes down to it, there are ways to work around this whole thing when it comes to the people making $250,000 or more. They should be paying into the payroll tax. That's only fair for us to have a situation like that. Address that first. Don't say, you're going to need to work a couple extra years. That's just, if you're addressing that, telling people they need to work a couple of years, but you're not going to address the fact that people that are making $250,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year, they don't have to pay additional payroll tax more than the $147,000. You're really not trying to solve the problem. Basically, you're just trying to protect those people who are making a lot of money. Okay, so I filled you in on the calendar. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos when it comes to the calendar, just to show you guys what's going on and what's on the table. And a big part of this whole thing is just looking at what politicians are talking about and what they're actually doing. We can keep a kind of a scorecard on them by doing this. And so I'm going to continue to do this in the future. If you guys have any questions, please post them down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.